Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to the channel and to another complete rogue guide. Today finally bringing you Sigrid. These guides are here to give you an in-depth look at the different characters within Rogue Company, and I go over their basic kit. I give you an upgrade priority system so you know exactly what to buy when you're in game, and then finally I'll give you some playstyle tips so you can play them a little bit more effectively. If you do go on to enjoy the video or just want to see daily educational Rogue Company content, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. But for now, let's get into it. I like to start these complete rogue guides by giving you a little bit of an overview of the different rogue, and today is going to be the newest rogue to join the Rogue Company, and that is going to be Sigrid. Sigrid's main role within Team Comp is one of two things. She's either there to push the assault, spearheading it, and using her shield to push an advantage, or she is there to be an objective-based rogue to defuse the bomb, plant the bomb, or get some revives off, using that shield as cover. The shield that I mentioned a few times is her main ability, Ballistic Shield. What this does is that when she activates her ability, she equips the shield for 15 seconds. The shield covers the majority of her body, although you are only fully covered when you're crouched and not moving. When you're moving while crouched, you do see a little bit of her feet, and if you're standing up, you will see the top of her shins. Sigrid can shoot over the top of this cover, exposing her head, but she can only shoot with a pistol. It still covers the majority of her body though. The shield is great at stopping all forms of damage from the front, whether it be bullets that hit the shield, whether it be some form of lethal that explodes in front of her, but she is completely exposed to the back, and that is generally the best place you want to try and throw a grenade or shoot her. The shield does recharge in demolition, so you can use it more than once, and during the 15-second activation period, you can put it away and bring it back up as you wish. You have slightly reduced movement speed when you have the shield out. That is kind of made up for with her passive, Athletic. This passive means that when she is crouching, she moves slightly faster than usual, and she is also immune to slows. This means that things like gas grenade or trench barbed wire, she can move through without being punished in terms of the slow effect of it. Let's now though take a little bit more of an in-depth look at her different weapons, abilities, and perks. Sigrid's first primary weapon is the D40C, the same as Shark's SMG. This is a very, very good SMG with good range overall and a great time to kill at pretty much every range also. It has a base 40 round mags and it stays at that throughout the entire upgrade system, but as you do upgrade it to tier 1, you'll increase the hip fire accuracy of it. As you upgrade it to tier 2, you'll increase the damage range, and as you upgrade it to tier 3, you'll reduce the recoil. Her other primary weapon is the S12 Tactical Shotgun. This is the same as Vi's shotgun. This again is a great semi-automatic shotgun, very good at pump action, although will not one shot at the closest range. It will do significant damage at that closest range, though about 96 to the head if you land all the pellets there. As you upgrade to tier 1, you increase the magazine size from the base 6 up to 10. At tier 2, you increase the hip fire accuracy, and at tier 3, you increase the damage range. In my eyes, there's no real preference of the primary weapon. You can either use the D40C for a bit more ranged engagement, or the S12 Tactical for just some really clean up close and personal shotgun kills. It's really up to you though, and personal preference depending on which weapon you feel most comfortable with. In terms of secondary weapons, she has the Warrant pistol, and this is the pistol that you will use when you fire over the shield. Even if you pick up a different pistol during the round, you will still fire with the Warrant pistol, and if you have two primary weapons, say you're on strikeout and you pick up two primary weapons, you will still pull out a magic pistol over the shield. Just thought I'd make that note for you, and that pistol will always be this Warrant pistol. It is obviously the same as Fixer's pistol and is incredibly good. As you upgrade to tier 1, you increase the reload speed, and at tier 2, you increase the damage range and reduce its accuracy bloom. Her melee weapon is the Throwing Axe, which cannot be thrown over the top of the shield. As you upgrade this, you increase the throw speed, and at tier 2, you increase the throw damage from 100 to 150. So it's going to kill anybody with armor or anything else. Her two gadgets are actually really good and fit her playstyle well. She has the Semtex grenade, which is obviously the sticky explosive that fires quite fast and explodes quite fast, but doesn't deal significant area damage unless you stick someone with it. You can throw this over the top of the shield, and as you increase it to tier 1, you will up that throw speed and also increase the stick damage to 250, so it will kill anybody when it sticks to them. And at tier 2, you'll increase the blast radius of this. Her other gadget is unique to her, and I think is a really, really good piece of equipment, and this is the Adrenaline Shot. This is very similar to a stim shot that you might see from other games, and when you inject yourself with it by using it, you will give yourself plus 30 health initially, so it's a little health boost. It will not go over the 100 health max, but say you're on 50 health and you use it, you'll bump up to 80 health real quick. It will then start instant health regeneration, and will also give you a minor speed boost for a short duration. As you upgrade this to tier 1, you'll increase the amount of time you have that speed boost, and at tier 2, you'll get a second Adrenaline Shot, which is really, really strong. Looking briefly over her perks then, in the 4000 category, she has Evade and Shredder rounds. In 6500, she has Nimble Hands and Tenacity. and in 10,000 she has tracker rounds and lifeline. The perk priority is pretty much getting tenacity and lifeline as you would imagine. Tracker rounds can be good along with evade. Nimble hands isn't bad as well because she does suffer a little bit in reload speed on occasion, and then shredder rounds is good if you're against an anvil or some other form of equipment that you want to be shooting down, or if you're in strikeout. I'm now going to go over my upgrade priority, which is the way that I would recommend you upgrading her in demolition, and I have split into 3 different categories. I have your high priority upgrades, and these are the ones you want to buy in this order as soon as possible. And then have your interchangeables, which are things that you can buy sort of throughout the game. You want to get them at some point, but you can mess around with the order depending on your playstyle. And then last, we have the low priority or situational, which are things you don't really need unless you want them for a very particular purpose. I also have the rounds that you're most likely to buy these with next to it on the side. The first thing you want to buy in round 1 is either the adrenaline shot or the Semtex. It's personal preference. The way I tend to do it is if I'm on attack, I tend to use the adrenaline shot because I'm more likely to take poke damage. And then on defense, I pick the Semtex usually, just in case I get rushed. I want to get that stick off and try and get a few downs to trade my life with. From there, on round 2, you want to buy that primary weapon, and then you want to focus on buying tenacity and lifeline, whichever one you can buy first if you have the 10,000 by lifeline, if you don't buy tenacity. But that's kind of the main core, and then you want to pick up your other piece of gadget if you do like the Semtex. I think the adrenaline shot is always core. You do not necessarily need the Semtex, but I would recommend it if you like that playstyle. Then as you move to the later rounds, pick up the axe if you want it. It's not as good on Sigrid because you can just melee with her shield instead, which I think is really strong. Then you want to focus on upgrading that adrenaline shot. Getting those 2 adrenaline shots is really, really good because it offers so much survivability and so much outplay potential. You then want to focus on upgrading your weapon fully. This will be the primary weapon and get those 3-tier upgrades, and then honestly upgrade the pistol so you can get that extra reload speed and a bit more accuracy for when you're firing over the shield. Then you can get the first upgrade for the Semtex and maybe tracker rounds, and from then on everything else is kind of situational, kind of optional, and honestly you're probably not going to have enough money to get those later items unless it's a 6-7 and you've fragged out pretty well. That's going to be your basic priority upgrade system with how I would recommend upgrading Sigrid in the standard sense. And now I'm going to give you some playstyle tips so you can start playing Sigrid a little bit better and a little bit more effectively, and maybe with some unique playstyles that I think she's really adaptable to. Let's start by talking about the main thing I think Sigrid is underrated for and what you can really use her for more than just simply trying to push the position. And this is going to be to use her as an objective focused rogue. Sigrid is really unique so that when she has her shield out, she can actually plant the bomb behind the shield, giving her really good cover. She can also defuse the bomb in this sense and put off revives doing the same thing. This offers her so much in terms of being a really solid bomb planter, bomb diffuser, or general medic. I recommend trying to save your shield for those kind of moments to play the objective, as demolition is more objective focused. Obviously, if you need to put it out for a 1v1 or if you're getting rushed and you've got some sort of outplay, absolutely go for that. But definitely look at trying to use it for the objective. I think it's a really good option to help you use those objectives a little bit better, and Sigrid is really good at doing this. My next tip for you is going to be on 1v1ing people. Sigrid has 2 great primary weapons that can help you 1v1 in close quarters no matter what, but sometimes you need to put out the shield for a little bit of extra survivability. Using the shield and the adrenaline shots in great conjunction is a really great strategy at winning trades. Say you're 1v1 with someone, you've got the shield and you're popping shots over the shield, you're trading about equal damage because they're pretty accurate and getting headshots on you and you're hitting them for body shots with the pistol. You then want to be using your adrenaline shot to heal up instantly and re-engage that fight. With Sigrid and her shield, you don't have to worry about dipping in and out of cover to survive. You have your shield as cover itself and you have the adrenaline shot for quick outplay potential. That's how you want to be using her, really aggressively in that sense. Don't let your enemy heal, don't let them get back in position, and be really careful of those grenades as well. Sigrid, when played right, can be a great 1v1 duelist, but you do have to be really comfortable adapting between that shield and also knowing when to put the shield away. Sometimes it is just good enough to deal some poke damage with the shield out so you can survive, and then when they're low health, just push them with your primary weapon out because it will generally be a bit more consistent than your pistol. Getting used to switching in and out of the shield and when to have the shield out and when not even to use the shield is a really big thing Sigrids need to learn, so do focus on that without your games. Try and think, did I use the shield to the most effective way there? Did I need it to win that fight? If so, then great. If not, then maybe think about how it could have been useful in a different situation, although generally it's quite forgiving because it does recharge fairly fast. My next tip for you is going to be a way that I found of using her for a great breaching rogue to push into certain high priority positions. An example of this would be on Favelas, moving from big garage to mini garage. This is a really great point, but it's quite risky as you try that approach. So what a great strategy is to smoke off your left hand side as you push it so they can't shoot you from the cross, and use your shield to push whoever's there. They can't shoot you through the shield, you'll be able to block any incoming explosives, and you'll be able to have a really great time at pushing that objective, which is so key to taking control of that bomb site. But there's lots of ways you can use the shield in this way of just being a spearhead to move through onto a position that is generally high priority. It can be things just as simple in strikeout as just holding the objective, or in demolition and just pushing onto a site through difficult angles that you normally get crossfired on. Having that shield out is a great way of breaching sites, and it is the most typical way of using Sigrid. My last tip for you is going to be something I've spoken about in a video before, but it's how you can play Sigrid in a more supportive role by not buying a primary weapon, just focusing on that pistol and a great perk and utility set to go with it. This adopts buying things like tenacity, lifeline, and tracker rounds specifically, while also upgrading that pistol and those utilities. You don't necessarily need the primary weapon to be useful on Sigrid, as I find you're shooting over the shield most of the time anyway, if you're playing the situation right and your team are coordinated with you. Therefore, by not spending 8,000 on primary weapon and not spending a further 15,000 on the upgrades, you have a lot of room to buy different perks and utility upgrades that can be a bit more useful to being a supportive role within that team. Focusing on revives, focusing on the objectives like I said, and trusting your gunplay with the pistol to be enough as you go into these fights. With tracker rounds as well, it means you don't have to deal a lot of damage, you just have to get a few tags on them to reveal them to your team. Sigrid is actually incredibly adaptable, but you do have to be careful of her flaws, which are things like getting grenaded from behind, people just simply punching through your shield. Yes, that is an interaction. You can punch people with the shield, but they can punch through your shield as well. It does slightly reduce damage on their punches, but will still get you. If they take you down to 1 health, they may just charge you and punch you through the shield, which is annoying. I don't think it should necessarily be a mechanic, but it's here, so you do have to be aware of it. Okay then guys, that's going to take us to the end of the video. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can also come follow me on twitch.tv/Radthar Gaming to see live gameplay commentaries, guides, Q&As, and playing with viewers. All the links you're going to need are down in the description below, but for now guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. And remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless, and I'll catch you in the next video.